You're watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris, Craig, Scott, Brad and Mark. Leicester Till I Die, now available on Spotify.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Hello, fellow Fox fans. It's Friday. It was 7:30. It's now 8:20, and that can only mean one thing. It's not Cracker Jack. It's the Opposition View Show, and it's a little matter of this at the weekend. Yes, I am sorry for the lateness of the matter. We had a few technical gremlins, or as we officially call them, Jeff's wife. I think it was her fault. We were having problems with the sound. But welcome along. You are watching this.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chums. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV. Leicester Till I Die, now available on Spotify.
It is. Good evening, Leicester Till I Die TV, and you can watch us live in 3 places. You can watch us on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. We are now also on Periscope Live, which I do believe is linked into Twitter, and you can watch us live on Twitter, and that is going to be at Leicester TID. And Facebook Live as well, obviously in the Facebook group Leicester Till I Die. If you are watching on that, please can you just either sign in, click on the link from StreamYard, or just stick your name at the end of the comment so we can see who you are. Now, I've got battery problems now, would you believe? So I'm just going to try and press that in. Hopefully that means I won't disappear. And if you prefer to watch us later on catch up, very easy to do. YouTube obviously will still be there, and we will have podcasts available. Google Podcast, Apple iTunes, Spotify and Anchor are the main ones. Other podcasts are available. Anyway, let me bring a little man of a Blade supporter, Sheffield United fan all his life, doesn't live there anymore, but he's never take the lad out of Sheffield, but you can't take Sheffield out of the lad. Let me bring him in and say very good evening. Jeff, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Chris. Good evening to you all out there in Fox's land. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
No, yes, it's brilliant to have you on. Thank you very much. I just hope you got rid of your wife now.
Yeah, she's in the other room now, not listening.
Put her in the shed, you know what I mean, in the room, you know. And very nice. I think that is a Christmas jumper, but I presume it's a Sheffield Christmas jumper.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, there you go. It's got to be done, hasn't it? It's got to be done.
It does indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Tearing us up at the moment.
Well, we will be coming on to that. Believe you me, we will bring that up. Just a couple of hellos first of all. Again, like I said to you before, your Facebook user, I have absolutely no idea who you are. For all I know, you could be Donald Trump. Although having said that, he probably wouldn't be quite as polite.
Yeah.
Stick your name at the end of the comments, please, if you're on Facebook, so we can give you a shout out. And another one there. Good evening, all foxes. So it is is Sunday. It's at Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United versus Leicester City. And if you are the proud owner of Sky Sports Pass, it's on the Premier League and main event with the kickoff at 2:15. I mean, it's Leicester sitting fourth, Sheffield bottom of the league. We shouldn't have much to worry about. But then again, I seem to remember saying exactly the same thing 7 days ago before Fulham. Got to ask you, Geoff. You obviously saw the result. I'm not saying you necessarily saw the match, but as a United fan, having watched us, lose to Fulham, if you like, does that give you better confidence?
If we could score a goal, yeah, I would be confident. But since we're never going to score a goal ever again, I doubt we're going to win. But yeah, you weren't very good, if I'm honest. A bit lackluster, I think. A bit powder puff would be what I'd say. Normally, we'd be looking forward to playing a team like Leicester in your form, but if we can't score, we're not going to win.
This has got 0-0 written all over it, possibly.
Well, I mean, there's the Vardy influence, isn't there? Presumably, he's going to start up front, and we do hate him, although he is brilliant. But what I'm looking forward to, if he does score, is running to the empty cup with his ears cupped. That would amuse me.
He will still do it. He will still do it,
But, it's despite the wife not being here, the sound is
it right? Is that any better?
No, I didn't hear it either.
You can't hear me at all. No. Have I gone? So if I was to say to you, you've thrown me with a question now. But do you think?
See those graphics with our names on? Can you remove those?
Yes. I could do at the start. I don't know if I can when I'm actually within the chat at all. We've got D here. Good evening, D. You can hear me again. You must admit you were coming and going a little bit, so it is probably the good old internet. But we'll say good evening to D. Let's go back. You're saying about Vardy. I mean, yes, he was rested on midweek when we went over to the Ukraine. We've lost now sort of 3 on the trot. It's a game. Well, yeah, in fairness, it is, isn't it? First world problems, as they say. But it's very important. I mean, you obviously, you need to win a game full stop. It doesn't matter, how it happens. If it comes off somebody's arse and goes in,
it's going to happen. But who knows when?
But obviously, for us as well, we need to win because, like I say, we're on this sort of losing streak. But I've got to ask this from you because Sheffield United last year were a breath of fresh air, and you do get this sometimes with teams when they first come up. They can do well, but if we look at where you finished last year and where you are now, what has happened?
We finished badly. We knew the lockdown football was going to be painful for 2020, but I didn't think it was going to end up in tears. So playing without a crowd doesn't help us at all. We do gain a yard of pace and distance from having the crowd behind us. Our players aren't as good in quality, but they need the crowd behind them. We lost a couple. Dean Henderson went. Ramsdale's okay. O'Connell in the back 5 is injured and he's long term and he's a big miss. So it's this displaced our defence a little bit. Whereas we win a game 1-0 last year, we're losing it 1-0 this year. So there's not a big difference, but that's the way it's going at the moment.
I mean, we sound like we're going through pretty similar sort of problems, as you know. I mean, we've got we had virtually at one point our whole defence was in the sick room, and It's funny because, you know, we look at teams like, you know, Liverpool, and they're complaining that, you know, they've got as many injuries as us. You're going, yeah, but you're Liverpool, you've got a huge squad. You must look the same at Leicester. And go,
well, we've got a threadbare squad. Yeah, we've got
yeah.
decent players, but there's nobody on our bench who would get into any other Premiership team, I don't think.
I mean, I spoke to your brother online, and your brother.
Say again.
Yeah, say Alan did the opposition view on the website, www.leicestertillidie.com. We have the written version of this as well. And, you know, he was saying what you're going through this year is kind of what they expected you to be doing last year.
Really, I thought we were going to kick on this year. So we did lose a couple of players, but we bought Sanderberg, who will be brilliant. Not a finished article yet, and we will sell him at a massive price. But the players we bought to solve our striker crisis have not worked. We got the guy from Brewster from Liverpool. He's not had a touch yet, really. And McBurney, who's a handful for anybody, that people won't enjoy playing against him. But he can't hit the net. You know, if he's playing up front as our number 9, he should be scoring. He should have had half a dozen goals by now, which would have made a big difference. But he's not doing it. So he will chase the game, and he'll work hard, and any central defender will know they've been in the game against him, but they won't care because he can't score.
Well, I'm going to do this with every opposition fan I take, because I'm G'd into this by the fans here, that we have a strike. We got Perez, and we will actually pay you to take him off our hands. If you're struggling that much, you know, you're welcome to him. You know, no fee, just take it. But all joking aside, though, you sound like disappointed with your transfer window.
Yeah, Wilder's been very good over the last 2 or 3. Well, he's been brilliant, really. I can't say anything else other than he's been brilliant. He's taken average players, and they've performed. They've punched above their weights. But we spent a bit of money by our standards, and they've not produced. You know, certainly not up front. So I'm looking at you, Brewster, and I'm looking at you, Ollie McBurney. Yeah, and we've got this guy, and we've got Oliver Burke as well, who's. He's fast but brainless.
I mean, you've come up through the leagues there. You've had a good run. I'm not sure how long Chris Wilder's been with you there, but I know he's been with you and he's brought you up in the last couple of promotions. And it's always the second season is always the hard one. I mean, you know, for us it was the other way around. You know, but we struggled very much in the first season. But you do see teams come up, you know, like the Blackpools and, you know, the smaller clubs, and that's no disrespect, because I still sort of think of us as one, you know, a smaller club compared to some of them. But, you know, it's a second season when sometimes you found out.
It's possible, but we've been playing the same way for 3 or 4 years, so people ought to know how we play. Our famous overlapping centre backs is still the same. Nothing's changed, and didn't change last year. And then you're not telling me Premiership coaches weren't alive to what we were doing. We're just not being as good this year.
Yeah, I mean, a question here for you, if I can just if I can find it here, just bring it in. Hi, Geoff. No disrespect to Ramsdale, he looks like he has been thrown in at the deep end a bit. Confidence comes from a solid defence.
Don't disagree with that. Ramsdale's done okay, but we're conceding chances, and he can't save them all. He's okay. He's not. I don't think he's as good as Henderson, but he's okay, and will be a fine goalkeeper. So I can't blame him.
No. And another guy here, this is Robbie Gamble. Good evening, Robbie. Thanks for joining us. I think Sheffield United will suffer more than most with lack of fans. The place is rocking.
I did make that observation earlier. We lose a yard of pace without fans.
Yes.
Certainly at Bramall Lane we do. It's a good old stadium, and it's a great place to visit as well if you get the chance this year.
I've not been. It's one of the grounds I've not been to, but I know what you mean, because we're the same, because we have the famous clappers that was brought in when we were doing the relegation battle.
I've been to Filbert Street many times, and what do you call your place now? It's not Walker.
It's King Power Stadium now.
Been there a couple of times.
Yeah, and when when we're on form and the crowd are going, and that rocks as well. And because one of I think it was might have been Brad or Craig, one of my fellow presenters, who was saying that it's affected Maddison. He's very much a crowd player, and it will have an effect, and it will affect some more than others. I don't think we can deny that. But last season we played, obviously, it was your first season back. We played you twice. We played you quite early on. I don't know if it was the first, second, or third game. We managed to get 6 points off you. Thank you very much. That was very kind of you. Memories of last year's games?
I didn't get that.
Sorry, we played you twice last season, obviously, and we beat you, getting all 6 points. A 2-1 at your place quite early on, and a 2-0 back at ours after lockdown. I think it was one of the first games back after lockdown. Do you have any memories of those games at all?
We were never in that game ever.
No.
We the first game, I thought we deserved something out of that. The 2-1 defeat at home, but that's the way it goes sometimes. There wasn't a game I went to, win or lose, that I didn't enjoy last year. But I've not enjoyed any of the lockdown games we've played. We just don't look good enough.
And I mean, I think in the game at Bramall Lane, I think actually you went ahead, didn't you?
Against who?
When you played us in the first game, when we beat you 2-1, I think you went ahead, didn't you?
No, we equalised, and then
did you equalise?
Barnes scored a wonder goal.
Yes,
was it Barnes? He volleyed it in from the edge of the area. It was outstanding.
He misses a lot, but when he gets one,
he probably got done by VAR, because that's what.
Hey, don't knock VAR. We've not had it in the Europa League, and I tell you what, it's weird when you shout for something, thinking that was. I'm actually missing VAR, but don't quote me on that, But I've got one of the questions I asked your brother, and what was sort of your hopes and
I'm not getting this at all.
Oh, your hopes and aspirations for the season?
Say again?
Your hopes and aspirations for this season. I presume it's just to stay up now.
Aspirations for this season.
How did you know that? Oh, my wife can tell what you're saying, but I can't.
Maybe it's you then.
What are our aspirations for this season?
For this season. Do it, bring your wife back in. She can translate.
Before it was at least to be halfway and maybe head to Europe, but now we've got to win the next game and the next, and drag ourselves out of the bottom there. It's looking difficult for us. We've had an awful start, and it's been that's our aspirations, to score a goal. Actually, if we're going to get down to basics, I think is something we really want to do. Score maybe two goals in one game would be great.
Yeah. Because you've got to think, you don't want that gap widening between yourself, and fourth place, do you?
I don't know. It's there already, so we're under no illusions.
No. Who do you think sort of outstand? Who should be the player or players, if you like, that Leicester should be worried about on Sunday?
Well, our strength is that we have no real stars. The only person I'd pick out who oozes class is Sander Berg, the Norwegian guy. He's big, but he's deceptively quick. You don't push him off the ball, and he's starting to have an influence in our team. He understands the way we play. So if you can stop him getting the ball and make him play deep, because when he goes forward, it's difficult to push off. That's who I concentrate on. Otherwise, if Basham gets forward, what's happening. He's going down the right and he's going to cross, and McBurney's there missing his header in the middle. Yeah. So So that's what you've got to look out for. And the wing backs, Baldock, he's always there to get up front and loves to attack.
Yes, yeah. All I would say is that if you get a chance, and if you're worried about what you're going to do with the ball at the back, put it out for a corner, because we're absolutely crap at corners.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not one of our corners doesn't end back up with Casper
Yeah,
Schmeichel. I'll tell you.
I think you said you're crap at corners. Is that
yes?
Right?
Yeah.
That's something we're pretty good at, set pieces. So that might be our saviour. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Were you surprised last season at sort of what happened to Leicester? The wheels kind of came off our wagon a bit.
Yeah, I did, because they seemed to be coasting towards Champions League, didn't they? And then suddenly, I don't know, what did happen?
We met Liverpool. And they gave us a 4-0 footballing lesson, shall we say? And it seemed to sort of go wrong from then on, But we're going for a walk.
We are, and the reason we're doing that is because the battery's running low.
You and me both. We both had had battery problems.
Well, I'm blaming the wife again because.
Can I just say, is this why we get married, men? So we've actually got somebody to blame for things.
She was on a Zoom call earlier and used the iPad, but it's okay. We're back.
Can I just say, if we do actually manage to beat you at the weekend, you can't blame that on her. As much as you might want to, But yeah, it did go out the window. We seem to have started off, like I say, again, all guns blazing this season, and then we've had a lot of injury problems, and I think it's slowly beginning to take its toll. I mean, we mentioned.
Did you beat Man City? Was that?
We beat Man City. We beat Arsenal.
And we lost to Fulham. Yeah.
We lost to Fulham. That's Leicester for you. That's the joy. That's following Leicester is like a roller coaster ride. I tell you, it's up and down more times than a bride knickers on a wedding night. I tell you. But
sounding a bit Dalek-like again.
Have I gone? We're going to have fun with this conversation, aren't we? It's not working very well, but. I'm going to bring in the managers, and we're going to talk the managers, because you've got literally there. I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but it's two different styles. Can you hear me?
Sorry, Chris.
So I say our managers are like chalk and cheese, two different styles.
No, it's not working. The sound.
Not at all. Not working at all.
Right. Go on, speak again.
Can you hear me now?
That's okay. It's correct.
That's fine. Whatever we're doing, we don't move. Okay. I was going to say, looking at the two managers, they're like chalk and cheese, two totally different styles.
You reckon? I think most people have got respect for Brendan. I think he's honest, isn't he? And I think he's like it is. And when he's interviewed after a game, he doesn't pull any punches, and he'll say what he thinks. Not like some of them. And I think Wilder's like that. Wilder will tactically, obviously, they're completely different. But I would say, in terms of honesty, and everybody respects Brendan Rodgers for that, because he will tell the truth. Yeah, and if they've been crap, he'll say we beat that.
And I think Chris Wilder will as well. But I think, and I could be wrong here, but I've got Chris Wilder as a very animated manager on the touchline.
Does Brendan Rodgers not do that? He stands quiet, does he?
He's got his notebook there, and he's sort of making notes, or he's colouring something in. I'm not sure what, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't know about that. I hadn't noticed that, but Chris Wilder certainly he's out there shouting and engaging. Yeah, certainly.
Yes. Having said that, we had Martin O'Neill, who was very, very much like that, and then you have Claudio Ranieri, obviously successful manager we probably ever had for what he did. Yeah, exactly. As long as we win, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But I mean, you're struggling. Is Chris Wilder going to be there at the end of the year? At the end of the season? Sorry.
Say that again.
Is Chris Wilder going to still be with you at the end of the season?
I don't think we're going to sack him.
No.
I think he can do. He's got a season in him, and if we get relegated, I think it's up to him. Really, I don't think we're going to sack him. We do believe in him. He's one of our own. He's a Sheffield lad. He played for us. He was a ball boy before that, and he knows what we want. And he talks our language. So we do love him. Still.
Yes. I mean, some clubs, Leicester probably fall into this category. Do change the managers quite often, and there's nothing wrong with when you go down, sticking with the manager to bring you back up again. Not saying that you are going to go down; it's still early doors yet, but I think we do go through managers quickly, football teams, don't we?
Well, that's my view. Yeah, I don't think Chris Wilder's in any danger of the sack. Certainly, whether he thinks it's time to move on himself, I don't know. But he's been backed by the board. We've got limited funds, and he's been allowed to spend it and mould the team as he wants. So really, he's got nothing to moan about.
No, and we talked about sort of who Leicester could.
Stop moving.
We talked a bit ago about the players that Leicester should fear from Fulham. Who we obviously Jamie Vardy. We mentioned him before we came live. Anybody else in the Leicester team that you're looking at? Oh, don't give him the ball, or that you worried about?
None of that, Chris. I didn't hear. No. Sorry.
No. Really any Leicester? Hang on. Any Leicester player that you are worried about?
Hello.
Hello. Again. Can you hear me? Yeah. Are we back?
Say again.
Any Leicester player that you're worried about at all?
No.
No, I think we're going to have to see.
Now I can hear you.
I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing at this end.
Doing something.
I'm literally moving my head to read notes. That's all I'm doing. I was saying, we've mentioned Vardy before we came live. Any other Leicester players that you fear at all?
Madison has got that touch of class about him. We do feel he's a bit of a diver, I have to say. But Madison certainly he looks like an England player to me.
Yes, yeah. Well, thankfully he didn't get in the England team last time, so he didn't get injured. But we talked earlier as well, and I brought this up when we did the preview show. And going back to the famous kiss between Alan Birchnell of Leicester and Tony Curry of Sheffield United. And you reminded me, of course, Alan Birchnell was one of yours.
Well, what I said was we invented him. He played 100 games for us in midfield, scored 30 goals. So that's a good return. And we sold him to Chelsea for £100,000, which back in the day, sort of mid-60s. What would he be? Mid-70s now, isn't he? Yeah. So we sold him when he was about 21, 22. And we loved him. Yeah, we sold him at the same time as Mick Jones. We always sell our best players. Mick Jones, England player, went to Leeds. And Sherman, as we call Birchnell, that was his nickname.
Really?
I don't know what you call it. After the tank, because we regarded him as he was a hard, not over-skilled, I don't recall, but certainly he kept going. And as I told you, he scored his first match in Sheffield was at Hillsborough against Wednesday, and he scored 2 in a victory. So, he was forever in our hearts. We love Birchnell. Yeah, you're not going to get 2 against you. He's adopted Leicester as his go-to team now. I've been to Leicester many times. I had a friend who was a supporter, and I went many times during the late Martin O'Neill era.
All right.
And in fact, I have to say, Robbie Savage is one of the few football supporters who actually think Robbie Savage is good. I watched him play for Leicester, and I thought he's got an engine. He was a motivator. Was it Red Star Belgrade they played in a?
We played in Europe against. We try not to talk about that though. It all went a bit tits up, unfortunately.
Well, I saw that it was 1-1. Early conceded early, but I think Muzzy equalised. But I recall them playing around in their penalty area, passing the ball, and Savage chased them down, and I was highly impressed. As I say, he's a bit of a hero to me, Savage, even though everybody hates him.
Well, even we seem to hate him these days. I think the fact that he went to Derby and he speaks very highly of Derby and not very highly of us a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But that said, in his defence, he's been doing the commentary on the Europa League games on BT, and he has been very supportive of Leicester. So I've got to stick up for him a little bit there. But we've got the game, like I say. Let's end with this because we're having a few problems with the sound. A couple of ex-players and myself here. We always do a prediction every week. You may or may not know these names. Obviously, Steve Walsh has gone for a 2-1 to us.
Steve was in your O'Neill team, wasn't he?
He was, yes, yeah. As was Ian Marshall, who's actually given you a point there and gone for 1-1 draw.
A bit like a gypsy, didn't he, Ian Marshall?
he did. He did. But he says it as it is. But yes, he wasn't the best dressed man. Well, he didn't look it on the pitch anyway. Steve Lynix, who was around in the Lineker days, he's gone for 3-1 to us, and I've gone for 2-1 to us. So you're not getting much support there, I'm afraid. But what are you going to go for?
We know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we'd hope so. But what are you going to go for, Geoff?
1-1.
You're going to go for 1-1.
Yeah. Bernie will score, and Vardy will. It's inevitable.
I've just got this horrible feeling after last weekend that it might just all go wrong again. But
I hope so. I really hope so.
Thanks, mate. As I say, I was going to wish you all the best for the rest of the season, but I don't think I will now. But, whatever it is, no, I'd love to see you stay up. And I say, no disrespect when I say a smaller club, but hopefully you know what I mean. And I like to see you come up, and I like to see you stay up. And some of the big boys suffer a little bit, But
I won't be the first to come on here and say what a fantastic season that was a couple of seasons ago when you win the Premiership, and seeing Manchester United and Liverpool and all the top teams having their nose rubbed in it. They said you couldn't do it, and you did. Yeah, so we love Leicester. I think everybody loves Leicester.
I think we were adopted as a second team, and I was speaking to the Fulham guy last week, and I'll ask you this as well, because does it give fans of teams like Sheffield United hope and belief that just maybe one day?
No, it's happened now, and it's never going to ever happen again. You know that, don't you? And certainly not to us.
You've got to have a dream.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Take us back 7 years, mate. Would have said the same.
Our dream is to score a goal. That's what it is.
Well, I tell you what, Leicester seem to be one of those teams that if a commentator says, "Oh, and the striker's coming up, he hasn't scored for 5 hours," he'll score against us. So we seem to be everybody's bogey team. So
let it happen. Yeah,
you could get it. Hey, Geoff, it's been lovely. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Is that it? I missed that. Are you kicking me off now?
Oh yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah, I've got to go and get ready for I'm a Celebrity. It's the final tonight.
Okay, I'm going to go and have my dinner. I'm having curry tonight. So.
Oh God, I'm glad you're having that afterwards. I'm glad we can't smell you on this then. But make sure your wife sits downwind of you. But no, thanks very much. I know we've had the sound problems,
absolute pleasure. Good luck for the rest of the season.
And good luck for you, obviously, both of us after Sunday, of course. Okay. But good luck. Hopefully, we could have you back on for the return and try and get the sound problem sorted out. Are that gone again? Okay, mate. Take care. Cheers. Thanks a lot, Geoff. All the best, mate. Stay safe. So we had a few problems there. I don't know if you guys could hear me or not. Geoff was having problems hearing me. I don't know. Like I say, a few gremlins there. We'll blame his wife again. Why not? It's what the women are there for. Hopefully, there's no women listening to this at the moment. You know what I mean, anyway. But that is it. How are we feeling? I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you. This time last week, I was feeling very confident. We were going to get back on the bike, start riding again after falling off against Liverpool. Went wrong midweek. saying it's a 6-pointer, but it's a game we've got to start winning now. And if we can't beat teams like, no disrespect to them, like Sheffield Wednesday, bottom of the league, and if we can't do that, we really have got problems. Good news is Sonshu might not be injured as much as we thought he was, as in, might be back in a couple of weeks. Pierre, let's hope so. Let's hope he's back in, and Ndidi as well. But like I say, we'll find out 2:15 on Sunday. If you want to watch this again, it's going to be, like I say, on the YouTube. And if you want to listen to us, our podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google as well, Leicester Till I Die. Thanks all for watching. I will be back on Sunday post-match, about 30-40 minutes after the end of the match with Brad, and I shall see you then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. Whatever you do, enjoy it, stay safe, but don't do anything that I wouldn't enjoy. Thanks a lot now, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
Shut up and sit down.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.